The security of your financial data is of paramount importance to us. One of the easiest and most effective ways that you can protect your account is to use two-factor authentication, which is a standard optional feature in AccountsIQ. Using two-factor authentication means that after entering your login name and password to access the finance system, you will also need to enter a code generated from your linked mobile app to log on. Verification codes are unique to each user. They are generated by an app on your mobile device, and each code can be used only once. Most apps can generate verification codes even when your device has no phone or data connectivity. You will also be issued with a set of one-time use backup codes that you can print or download after use if your phone is unavailable. No one else can log into your account, as you are the only person who knows your login name, password, and has access to your authentication device. To enable two-factor authentication, navigate to Setup, Security, Two-Factor Authentication. You will then be prompted to enter your password. Or, if your organization uses single sign-on, verify your identity using a one-time PIN. Next, you will be prompted to download an authenticator app to your mobile device. There are some industry standard apps we recommend, such as Microsoft Authenticator for Windows Phone, Android, or iOS devices, or LastPass Authenticator for Android and iOS devices. Alternatively, search for Authenticator in your device's App Store and pick your preferred app. If you already use Authenticator app for accessing other accounts, you can add another account to it for AccountsIQ. In this example, we will download the Microsoft Authenticator. Then, we scan the QR code. This links the Authenticator app to AccountsIQ. After this, the two-factor authentication app will provide you with a unique code. Enter this code in the confirmation box. On the next screen, a confirmation message and a set of recovery codes will be displayed. Save these recovery codes somewhere safe and accessible. In the event you do not have your mobile device and you have enabled two-factor authentication, these recovery codes are the only way you will be able to access the system. Each code will expire when it has been used to log into the system. Therefore, we recommend downloading a new set of codes when you have used 8 or 9 of these codes. The support team in AccountsIQ does not have access to disable two-factor authentication on your behalf. Close the screen. Once you have enabled two-factor authentication, you will need to use it every time you log on to the system. In the logon screen, as usual, enter your company ID, username, and password. You will then be prompted to enter the generated code from your linked authentication device. If you tick the option, "Remember me on this device for the next 30 days, before entering the code, you will only need to enter the authentication code every 30 days. In this context, a device refers to an internet browser session. If you use a different browser, an incognito session, or clear your cookies, you will need to re-enter your two-factor authentication code. You should only click this option on a trusted device and never on a shared or public device. Enter the code. If the code is accepted, you will then be logged into the system. If the code has expired or is entered incorrectly, an error will be displayed. In this case, retry entering the code. Otherwise, click on the link to use one of your recovery codes instead. Please note, recovery codes cannot be entered from the logon screen. They can only be used when clicking on the link "Use one of your recovery codes instead." If you do not have access to your linked device or set of recovery codes, there is no way to access the system. Once again, we strongly recommend you save your recovery codes somewhere secure and accessible. Our AccountsIQ support team do not have access to disable two-factor authentication on your behalf. If you log into different companies using a group login, you only need to set up two-factor authentication once, and it will apply to all companies within a group. As mentioned previously, the recovery codes are unique to each user, and each code can only be used once to log on to the system, as they expire after each use. Therefore, it is extremely important to download a new set of recovery codes when the current set have nearly all been used. When you generate a new set of recovery codes, the old set will no longer work. To generate a new set of recovery codes, navigate to Setup, Security, Two-Factor Authentication. Enter your system's password. Click on Reset Recovery Codes. Then click on Regenerate Recovery Codes. Make a note of the new codes and take care to delete the old set of codes to avoid any confusion. Store the new recovery codes somewhere safe but accessible. If you do not have access to your linked device or set of recovery codes, there is no way to access the system. If you decide that you no longer require two-factor authentication, click on Disable Two-Factor option from the menu and disable it on this page. Finally, please refer to the help guide for further information or to view frequently asked questions on this topic.